Gbàgede Ìmọ̀ TV níbi wọ́n ti ń dábìí ẹ̀dùn tí wọ́n ń rọ̀ bí òwú. Gbàgede Ìmọ̀ TV láti ń gbóhùn sáfẹ́fẹ́ láti ń dábìí ẹ̀dùn tá ń rọ̀ bí òwú. Gbàgede Ìmọ̀ TV, Gbàgede Ìmọ̀ TV, ọgbọ́n ń bẹ, òye ń bẹ, ìdánilẹ́kọ̀ọ́ lóríṣiríṣi ní Gbàgede Ìmọ̀ TV. Ẹ máa wò ó, ẹ máa gbọ́.
Ẹ kú dédé àsìkò yìí ní gbogbo ibi tí a bá ti láǹfààní láti máa gbọ́ wa. A kú oṣù tuntun, ẹ̀mí wa ṣe púpọ̀ rẹ̀ lókè rúpẹ̀. Ọ̀rọ̀ tó ń lọ nílé yìí tá mú wá fún yín níkànnì amóhùnmáwòrán BGI TV. Lóní yàjóyàjó, ohun mo ní kí n tètè mú wá fún yín wípé ojú àwọn èèyàn rẹ̀ ojú wọn ti là. Àwọn èèyàn wo ni àsìkò ti tó wọ́n ti ń pè fún wípé kí wọ́n lọ gbé gbogbo àwọn agbódegbà, àwọn tí àwọn agbésùmọ̀mí ń lò láti máa dúnàdúrà pẹ̀lú ìjọba. Àwọn apá àríwá wọn ti sọ ọ́ di mímọ̀ pé ṣe rí Gumi gangan àti àwọn èèyàn rẹ̀, àwọn ni kíni, àwọn ni igi wọ́rọ́kọ́ tí ń domi àlàáfíà ìlú lórílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà nípa ti ọ̀rọ̀ àwọn agbésùmọ̀mí. Ẹ má gbàgbé wípé ó ti pẹ́ ta ti wà nídìí ọ̀rọ̀ yìí tí gbogbo ẹ̀ tí ń já rìnrìn táwọn ayé ń pariwo tá à ń ké tantan yìí pé àwọn tí wọ́n ṣì ń ṣe agbódegbà fún àwọn agbésùmọ̀mí yìí kí ló dé tí wọ́n ṣì ń rìn yan fanda lókè erùpẹ̀ tí ìjọba ò tí ì gbé wọn. Lónìí ẹ rí àwọn fọ́nrán kan tó jẹ́ wípé ẹ̀yin náà á mọ̀ wípé bó ṣe ń ṣe wá lápá ọ̀dọ̀ tiwa nílẹ̀ Kóòtù Òjíire bẹ́ẹ̀ náà ló rí lápá ọ̀dọ̀ àwọn aráabí yìí, nítorí wípé wọ́n mọ̀ wípé àwọn èèyàn kan wà láàrin wọn tí wọ́n jẹ́ kọ̀lọ̀rọ̀ sí ẹ̀dá. Àwọn ọmọ ilé ìgbìmọ̀ aṣòfin orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà náà, àwọn náà ti dìde, wọ́n ti ń sọ àwọn ọ̀rọ̀ kan lọ́tùn, wọ́n ti ń sọ àwọn ọ̀rọ̀ kan lósì wípé àsìkò ti tó láti dìde fúyà láti rí ọwọ́ tó gbogbo àwọn ènìyàn wọ̀nyí. Máa láǹfààní láti tún mú fọ́nrán kan wá èyí tó ní ṣe pẹ̀lú ọ̀rọ̀ Gumi náà ni. Ẹ rí fọ́nrán yẹn lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ mi ibi tí Gumi tuntun dẹkọrẹ́tì àwọn bandit ní orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà. Ìjọba ìgbà wo lẹ tó fẹ́ gbé ìgbésẹ̀ yìí lórí ọ̀rọ̀ Gumi yìí gangan? Nítorí ó ti ń kọjá ààlà, ó ti ń kọjá ìfaradà, ohun tó mú kí àwọn aráabí àwọn apá ti Gumi yìí náà jáde síta wípé àwọn gbọ́dọ̀ rí wípé wọ́n fi ọwọ́ òfin gbé ẹni yìí. Màá tún mú fọ́nrán kan wá fún yín lónìí tó ní ṣe pẹ̀lú àlejò mi. Ẹni yìí ó fi ọ̀rọ̀ yìí ó sọ ó dẹ̀ sojú abẹ níkò níbi tó ti fi ẹ̀sùn kan ààrẹ Bọ́lá Ahmed Tinubu Alex wípé ààrẹ gan ló tọwọ́ bọ ìwé àdéhùn pẹ̀lú àwọn agbésùmọ̀mí. Ó yà í lẹ́nu báwo lọ̀rọ̀ ṣe jẹ́. Ọ̀dọ̀ Adéọlá Fáyẹ̀hùn, ẹ̀rọ tí àgbà sọ̀rọ̀sọ̀rọ̀ yìí, òun ló gbé àlejò yẹn wá tèmi náà fi rí pé ẹ̀yin ọmọ Kóòtù Òjíire, ọ̀rọ̀ yìí ò gbọ́dọ̀ lọ bẹ́ẹ̀, a gbọ́dọ̀ fi etí ara wa gbọ́ pẹ̀lú nípa ti gbogbo àwọn nǹkan èyí tó ń jà rìnrìn nílẹ̀. Kí n tó mú yẹn wá, màá mú wá fún yín bí àwọn apá àríwá, bí àwọn èèyàn yìí tí ń bá wa tọ́ka sí gbogbo àwọn ìṣòro wa lórílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà. Wọ́n ń gbà wípé yes, àwọn náà ni àwọn làwọn ń da gbogbo ẹ̀rọ, àwọn gbà wípé kábà gan wọ́n wà nídìí ìṣèjọba yìí tí wọ́n ń da gbogbo ẹ̀rọ lórílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà. ẹ máa gbọ́ bí ẹni yìí ṣe yọ̀nàná ẹ kọ̀ọ̀kan là ń yọ ẹsẹ̀ lẹ́kù. Màá mú wá fún yín kí gbogbo àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá ká lè rí wípé òtítọ́ ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ ó ti ń lékè lásìkò yìí. Màá dẹ̀ fẹ́ ká kọ́ gbóṣùbà kárí fún àwọn gómìnà wa ní ilẹ̀ Kóòtù Òjìrè nítorí pé àwọn gan wọn ò dúró tẹtẹrẹ mọ́ o. Wọ́n ti ń gbé àwọn ìgbésẹ̀ yẹn tó jẹ́ wípé àwọn ọmọ Kóòtù Òjìrè àwa ló wá kù sí lọ́wọ́ láti ṣe kí ni, láti sokun ṣòkòtò wa lé wípé gbogbo ìgbèríko wa, gbogbo ibi tá a bá wà káwa náà mú ọ̀rọ̀ ètò ààbò ká mú lókùnkúndùn nítorí ìjọba náà ti dìde. Àwọn gómìnà yìí wọ́n ti ṣe àgbékalẹ̀, wọ́n ní àwọn òdúródé ìjọba mọ́húntàdé fẹ́ náà lélẹ́yìí. Nígbà tá à ń pariwo ẹ̀ nígbà kan wọ́n ní à ń pariwo ní à ń sọ tẹnu wa, à ń dá wọn èèyàn kan, à ń dá wọn lára yá pẹ̀lú àwọn ọ̀rọ̀. Ṣùgbọ́n ní ìsinyìí rí wípé ọ̀rọ̀ àgbà ní bí òṣèlú lówùrọ̀ àṣẹ lọ́jọ́ alẹ́, ó ti pẹ́ ta ti ń pariwo gbogbo àwọn nǹkan wọ̀nyí. Ìgbà tó wá fẹ́ máa di wípé ó fẹ́ yíwọ́ tán láriwo bá bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní ta. Eléyìí jẹ́ ohun pàtàkì tí gbogbo àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá tí a gbọ́dọ̀ rí ẹ̀kọ́ kan tàbí ìkejì dìmú nínú oṣù tuntun tá a wà yìí. A gbọ́dọ̀ wá ọ̀nà àbáyọ sí ọ̀rọ̀ tó wà nílẹ̀ yìí àti mọ̀ wọ́n lẹ́yọ kọ̀ọ̀kan. Tí a bá dákẹ́, ìjọba gbé ìgbésẹ̀ tó yẹ kí wọ́n gbé lórí ọ̀rọ̀ àwọn agbódegbà, lórí ọ̀rọ̀ àwọn èèyàn bíi Gumi àti àwọn èèyàn tí ń dá ọ̀rọ̀ orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà rú, àlàáfíà orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà rú. Àwọn ọmọ ilé ìgbìmọ̀ aṣòfin wọn kò dúró, wọn kò wó, bó tilẹ̀ jẹ́ pọ̀ kan nínú wọn náà ni wọ́n sì ń gbé sí ẹ̀yìn àwọn Fúlàní yìí. Wọ́n dákẹ́, wọn lè sọ kankan nítorí kíni, nítorí ìwà àjẹbánu àti àwọn nǹkan tí wọ́n rí gbà lọ́wọ́ àwọn ará bí yìí. Ẹ jẹ́ kí n kọ́kọ́ mú eléyìí wá fún yín. Níbi tí àwọn ọmọ ilé ìgbìmọ̀ aṣòfin yìí ti sọ di mímọ̀, wọ́n ń yọ̀nà ẹ̀ dáadáa wípé bẹ́ẹ̀ ni ìjọba gbọ́dọ̀ mú àwọn èèyàn wọ̀nyí. Àwọn èèyàn wo ni wọ́n ń ṣe agbódegbà ní ọ̀nà kan tàbí lọ́nà kejì? Wọ́n ti ń tọ́ka bí ọ̀rọ̀ yẹn yóò ṣe lọ sí. Ẹ jẹ́ ká gbọ́.
Why must we wait until president? Is it everybody that will go to the president and ask for order? We should give that order here. Who are the people negotiating? We grab those people first. And then let them tell us how they link. What is their link with these bandits? It should not be business as usual. Families are suffering. Some people are living in their comfort places, making phone calls with these bandits. Can't we identify them? We can identify them. How do we do it? The gadgets we have bought for the National Security Advisor, the gadgets we have bought for telecommunications, they will be able to tell us where all these people are. But we are here, we are sending them blames. But today, almost all the local governments in Zone C, that is Niger North, have been afflicted with this serious issue of insecurity of people. I know Mr. President is doing very well, and he deserves commendation for the fact that he has to show his international engagements and to be having briefings from service chiefs almost every day. But we must also help Mr. President. We also have to help the armed forces. If a kidnap is done today, where hundreds of kids are being taken, and then the same hundreds of kids are being negotiated upon to get their return, what we're supposed to do is to ask ourselves, who is the intermediary between those armed bandits and those that want these kids to be released? You want a solution. We know where the solution is, but we are not bold enough to face it. They use phones to call people to negotiate and even tell where these people will go to pick those guys, those children they have released. My colleague is talking about technology. If our armed forces don't have it, our security or intelligence agencies don't have it, then we are not yet serious about tackling security in this country. Because for every phone call, there's a coordinate. And these people are there sending messages, sending clips on social media, making our country a laughing stock. If we want to help Mr. President, it is not only Mr. President that will give directive. The Senate is a legislative chamber that will, whatever resolution we take here is binding. Why must we wait until president? Is it everybody that will go to the president and ask for order? We should give that order here. Who are the people negotiating? We grab those people first, and then let them tell us how they link. What is their link with these bandits? It should not be business as usual. Families are suffering. Some people are living in their comfort places, making phone calls with these bandits. Can't we identify them? We can identify them. How do we do it? The gadgets we have bought for the National Security Advisor, the gadgets we have bought for telecommunications, they will be able to tell us where all these people are. But we are here, we are sending them blames. It started from one local government. It started from Bono. In one local government. And today it's spreading everywhere. No state is a moon. I don't want to put politics in this thing. No politics. It's a reality. If I have my brother, my son, if he's doing this thing, he should be picked. The law should take its course. We are confusing him. We're supposed to help him. How did the false originate? They will arrest 58 and release 58. No gunshots, no arrest, nothing. And then tomorrow we wake up to another banditry. Why should it be like that? Mr. President, it is on you as our leader to tackle this thing head on without any fear or favor. We will stand for you. We voted for you. We should not be here playing politics with the life of this country. We must own our responsibilities. Mr. President will direct, but we have to do our own to help him to navigate well. The United States of America have come up with an issue that there is insecurity in Nigeria. It's not for Mr. President to handle alone. The two chambers of the National Assembly are supposed to take this issue very seriously. We're supposed to be a legislature that will engage another legislature. If a senator or a congressman will talk, a senator and a congressman in Nigeria are supposed to talk and engage them. They represent their own people, we represent our own people. We should be given the opportunity, Mr. President, to engage these people directly on ways and means they think they can give us intelligence informations. As they did before, there was kidnapping in Nigeria of an American, and they came rescued in our own land. What are we talking about? I rest my case, Mr. President.
Gbon, rí báyìí ìkan kí sẹ́sẹ̀ ràgó kékeré lẹ́sìn rí yẹn kẹ̀rẹ̀kẹ̀rẹ̀ bó tẹ̀ ṣe ń ṣe wọ́n lọ́hùn-ún kò tẹ̀ kún àwa lápò ọ̀dọ̀ tiwa. Ohun tó bá wù wọ́n kí wọ́n ṣe tiwa ni wípé àwa Yorùbá a fẹ́ àlàáfíà tó lọ́rìn lápò ọ̀dọ̀ tiwa. A sọ àkọlé ètò wa kan ní ìgbà kan wípé wọ́n ti lànà fún òmìnira Yorùbá. Ọ̀rọ̀ ńlá ni, nítorí pé àsìkò yẹn ti tó gẹ́ báyìí láti jẹ́ kí àwa Yorùbá náà máa ṣe ìpalẹ̀mọ́ bá a ṣe fẹ́ ṣe gbogbo ẹ̀ sí. Nítorí wípé mi ò sọ wípé wọ́n fẹ́ ṣe kí ni, wọ́n fẹ́ gbé síwájú wa pé ó yá o máa lọ. Ṣùgbọ́n àwa pẹ̀lú àwọn àròkò tá a rí yìí, ó túmọ̀ sí àwọn nǹkan fún àwọn ọlọ́gbọ́n, fún àwọn onímọ̀ nílẹ̀ kóòtù òjìrè. Nígbà Yorùbá, àdúrà wa ti ń gbà díẹ̀díẹ̀ wípé ṣé a lè gbé pọ̀ mọ́ pẹ̀lú àwọn aráabí yìí. Nítorí bó ṣe máa ń rí rèé o, tẹ́ bá ní kẹ́ lọ pé bó ṣe ń rí wá, bó ṣe ń rí rèé. Fọ́nrán kejì tí mo fẹ́ fi hàn yìí, òun ni bí àwọn aráabí yìí ṣe gbà wípé yes, lótìtọ́ àti àwọn gangan ni igi wọ́rọ́kọ́ orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà tí wọ́n ń dáná rú, tí wọ́n ń domi àlàáfíà ìdúró. Àwọn gangan ni wọ́n fẹ́ jẹ́ kí ìsinmi wà. Àwọn ò bá wọn fà á, ṣùgbọ́n a fẹ́ jẹ́ kó fi yé wọn wípé àwa ti ṣetán, tipẹ́tipẹ́ la ti ṣetán. Ṣùgbọ́n díẹ̀díẹ̀ gbogbo ẹ̀ ti ń lójútù, ó tún ń lójútù bọ̀. Ẹ jẹ́ ká gbọ́ tàwọn aráabí yìí.
Sincerely speaking, the North is the problem of Nigeria. Let's put it that way. The North is the problem of Nigeria. And first of all, I want to start by retracting my comments in regards when I say that we can be one in Nigeria. The fact is, I get to discover that is a lie. We can never be one. We are divided already. This is not politics. This is not anything. This is just purely centered on ideology. Ideologically, we cannot be one. And if I must tell you the truth, one of our major reasons for not achieving oneness is the fact that the North has an ideology that is retrogressive in nature, just like I said in my previous videos. And let it not look as if I'm just talking. Let's face it. Sincerely speaking, let's look at it on this concept. What is that major thing that divides us as a nation, as a country, as Nigeria? The fact is we are divided across religious ideologies, cultural ideologies, and the rest of it. And so far, so good. In the history of Nigeria, the religious ideologies that seems to be dividing us more is the northern religious ideology, most especially when it comes to radical Islamism. Radical Islamism. And don't think I'm just being biased or whatever, because some people will now start to argue it's not just the North that are responsible for unrest or whatever. Even the Igbos, even the Yorubas are into ritual killing or whatever, and the rest of it. But let's put it vis-a-vis now. What is the ratio of people unalive as a result of criminality in all these regions, and the criminality that is as a result of religious ideologies and beliefs in the North? I know they hide anything, no, but I will put it to you this way. You will quite agree with me that religious ideologies in the North is what has been majorly responsible for the retrogression of Nigeria. Anyhow you call them, anyhow you put them. Call me a separatist or whatever. And I'm telling you sincerely, except Nigeria results into a regional system of government, or they share them, we can never go anywhere in that country. And that is just it. And the fact is, the earlier the better for everybody. The earlier the better for everybody. So let me speak about the North. Now this is going to be a long video, but at the end of the day, I just believe when you listen to me, you understand what I'm trying to say. Let me go into the North. Even the North now is divided into a lot of other factions. You have the North Central, you have the Northwest, you have the Northeast. You see, as far as I'm concerned, you see, the Northwest happens to be the major problem. That is where you have a lot of this radical religious ideological concepts stemming from. And that is why I'm begging the likes of Tinubu and every other person concerned, if we can't resort to regional system of government, I beg share Nigeria into possibly 6 pieces. 6 pieces. Because at the end of the day, you're going to have the Northwest, you're going to have the Northeast, and you must have the middle belt. Yes. And that is just it, because the North cannot remain as one. Because if you look at the dynamics of the North, you just know that the North is just a collection of people, a lot of people meshed together with different ideologies and allowing one concept to override or supersede other ideologies. And that is just it. Anybody with this video go pen and make it pen, but we must tell ourselves the truth. And why am I saying this? I'm saying this so that people will prepare. Will prepare for this. People must prepare for this. Defend whatever it is you stand for, and protect whatever you think you stand for, in the spirit of progress, in the spirit of development. Well, the fact is, a lot of people will think I'm bought or whatever, but that is just the truth. Because it's only in the north that you see people celebrating somebody that is unalive for insulting another religion, or for insulting a particular religion that is Muslim, insulting a prophet or whatever, and a lot of people are celebrating it, and the government is not doing anything about it. Yes, it's only in the north you find that. You don't find that in the east, you don't find that in the west, you don't find that in the south. And let's look at it now. We're going to be talking about pardoning bandits. The last time I checked, even soldiers are now being even deployed to go and be guardians and counselors for bandits, repentant bandits, bandits that have unalived them for several years now. Now they are deploying you to go and see your enemy and counsel him. So seriously, we are joking. We are joking, Allah. So seriously, I want to retract my statement just like I'm saying. Apologies to the Igbos that have seen that this country can never grow with these ideologies and these differences. They are absolutely right. And I strongly believe, and I have come to terms with that. Whoever it will hurt, whoever you think you want to do anything, you want to go haywire or whatever, do it. But the earlier the better. The earlier we tell ourselves the truth, the better for everybody. The North is retrogressive in nature. They are all about religious concept, religious ideologies of how to establish the kingdom of God on earth. And that is just it. Nothing more. And no country will progress on that basis. And this is where the government is supposed to come in now to curtail these things. But so far, the government is doing nothing about it. Why? Because when you try to do something about this, political ambitions will be at stake. And that is just it. I'm a northerner, I'm telling you this, but I'm telling you sincerely, if we are to remain and say that Nigeria is one, we go progress with all these differences, it's a joke. Some people are actually on an ideological concept that can never be debunked. But mind you, I'm not saying all Muslims are bad or whatever, all northerners are bad, but the fact is, even the good ones now are scared to speak because the bad ones have override the good ones. When the good ones speak now, they are going to be attacked and they are silent. Even them now, they are scared of the system that exists and the identifiers. So let's tell ourselves the truth. The earlier you regionalize or you...
Ẹ káàbọ̀ padà. Èyí tí mo fẹ́ fi káàdì rẹ̀ nílẹ̀, òun náà ló ní ṣe pẹ̀lú ọ̀rọ̀ tí àlejò pàtàkì kan sọ, tí wọ́n ti nàka ẹ̀sùn sí ààrẹ orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà wípé ààrẹ ló tọwọ́ bọ ìwé àdéhùn Tinubu made a deal with terrorists. His VP is an accomplice. Gẹ́gẹ́ bí wọ́n ti ṣe sọ di mímọ̀. Ẹ má kí n dá yín lágbára ọ̀rọ̀, ẹ jẹ́ ká sáré débẹ̀ ká gbọ́ ohun tí ó ṣẹlẹ̀.
A lot of people have been asking, what exactly are we dealing with? What is even going on?
I want to speak without a shred of doubt right now that what Nigeria is dealing with, it is both an ancient and a modern problem. And this is bigger, including religion, but bigger than religion. This is not an Usman Danfodio narrative. It's a more modern, more deadly, more intelligent Hydra, a supremacist agenda that was perfected by Osama bin Laden when he globalized the global resurgence of religious terrorism. This is not merely a Fulani problem. It's bigger than that. There are at least about 5-6 groups that we are reckoning with. It has a head in education. It has infiltrated our security defense systems. Over the years, it has infiltrated governance. It has infiltrated media.
Okay, so thank you so much, Daddy. But I feel like so far you have been speaking in parables. You are not naming. Okay, so you said 5 different heads. You need to put names. Also, you need to give the evidence of all these things that you are saying.
I told you it's a supremacist agenda that was designed to use Islam as a cover. That's why for the first 15-16 years, it was targeted only at Christians first. I told publicly that in the later years, towards the end, when they're about to strike Nigeria completely, they will start killing Muslims as well. So I said that about 10 years ago. You are dealing with something that is global, but has a local face. Its objective is to take the whole of Nigeria, not some of Nigeria. Now, it's going to use Islam and the Sharia to take Nigeria. All over the world, its tactics are different.
Who is trying to take Nigeria?
Now, let me put it for you like this. The architecture for the intelligence behind this thing is more than the local intelligence. But they have contacted local actors. You see, there's what they call the ISWAP. The Fulani is there. Then you have the Kanuri-dominated Boko Haram. Then you have Lakurawa, Ansaru, and all those other offshoots of the global template provided by Al-Qaeda. Many headed, only one heart. And what the idea is to take Nigeria, take West Africa, take the rest of Africa, and then use that resources to dominate the world.
Okay, so it's Al-Qaeda that is trying to take over Nigeria through these different terrorist organizations.
An intelligence created by Al-Qaeda between 1991 and 1996, Osama bin Laden was in Sudan, perfecting the model of how to globalize terrorism and rule the world with Sharia. And he knew they would have to kill Muslims as well. So what we're dealing with is bigger than just a religious problem. It's a supremacist agenda covering its face with Islamic religion.
So for people that may be watching right now, some of them will say we've been hearing about things like this for a long time. Where is the actual evidence? Like what you said bin Laden drafted in Sudan. Is there a record of it somewhere? Like some people would say, where is the evidence to the things that you're saying?
Okay, one of the greatest weaknesses of the African nations of the world, including Nigeria, is the inability to mathematize inquiry. That is to collect statistics and data, crunch it, and then do what they call concatenation. That is to join all the dots and use that to come to a conclusion and predict things that when they happen, you will not be surprised. If you follow the media in Nigeria over the past 20-something years, there's nothing I have said beforehand that did not come to pass, including when the color of the terrorist, the color skin of the terrorist is going to change in the latter hours, when they are bringing in people from the Maghreb and they're bringing in other people from outside of our borders. So if you want evidence, I will give you some. Number one, let me give you something very simple. There's no place in the world that has responded to an already documented resurgence of global Islamism by claiming to arrest terrorists, and then you claim that you have de-radicalized them, and then you absorb them into the Nigerian army. You see, that one alone is an amazing case of stupidity. I've never heard of this kind of madness before. An armed robber comes to your house, you arrest him, instead of prosecuting him, you claim that you have changed his mind, and you now make him join your megadis. That is, of course, one. Number two, if we collate, I can tell you from the beginning, one of the things I discovered from the year 1999 to 2000 was government complicity. And why do I say so? We have reached a stage now where we are not afraid of anything anymore. In those days, we were more afraid of the enemy within than the enemy without. So today, there can be documents that I will give you, we'll put on display. When you find out that young girls are kidnapped, married off, taken away from their husbands, I mean, sometimes young girls are kidnapped, sometimes wives are kidnapped, married off Islamically, and you will see that a summons will come. The governors were aware. I can give you a case where we had to curb a terrorist attack in Kaduna State. We could tell you the modus operandi. It started with Gumi when he came back from Mecca, when he came back from Saudi Arabia. His first tafsir in Kaduna was a call to violence, to slaughter. The VHS came to me because we have been setting up early warning systems, and this is what a real early warning system is to prevent something. When we got it, we translated it into English, and at that time it was Obasanjo who was the president of Nigeria. Thank God for the Foursquare General Overseer, who is now late, Wilson Badejo, who assured me that what we prepared and gave to him was given to Obasanjo in his bedroom. But what they didn't know was that we were still monitoring Kaduna to see whether the arms build-up towards the execution was going to stop. When we saw that it was not going to stop, in fact, this is a good example I'm giving you. I had to call a special strategic session with media, because media is a force expander in this new war form, this Hydra-headed war form. At that time, the man they call Additional, who became Buhari's media whatever, was at that time an editor-in-chief or something in one of the newspapers. They gathered together, and I told them, this is the problem. They are about to kill 600 to 900 people. Femi Additional. They are about to kill 600 to 900 people in Kaduna. And I said to them, we have sent them all the information to the army, to all the places. There's nobody stopping them. Unknown to them, we were monitoring. The Gumi boy went into the SSS office in Kaduna laughing and came out laughing. When I got that report in Lagos, we decided to call this media meeting and said, look, how do we solve this? Now, there's a headline that we had to put up where they did as if they interviewed the head of CAN and had to interview Gumi. Immediately, we took the front pages, the full pages in the newspapers and the new media, and the news blew across the world. The queries came to the president of Nigeria. It was reported to me directly that the Gumi boy entered, then was a small boy, he entered the SSS office. This time he didn't come out laughing. He left the country immediately. Now, this is a guy who has been banned by Saudi Arabia. They didn't allow him to enter Saudi Arabia. Let me give you another proof. I was on television when I found out there was no other way of escape. When an Al-Qaeda operative was already appointed as a federal minister in Buhari's government. And I questioned.
Do you mind naming that minister?
What's his name? Something Issa Pantami. How do I know? I supervised an evacuation in 2004 when a young Christian was slaughtered in the mosque of ATBU. That's Abubakar Tafawa Balewa University. Okay? Now, when we supervised that, it was this Pantami who was a lecturer in that university at that time, who put a fatwa on certain students because they preached the gospel to Muslims in a university. And at that time, when they killed that boy, we had to go and evacuate the others whose names I spoke to them recently. They are still afraid till now. The young guys brought them into Lagos. We made arrangements to take them into other countries where there's better respect for human worth. And then Sunday Achi was the name of the student who was murdered. Okay? At that time, for you to know how this thing works, there was a bishop who was working with the Obasanjo government who went to arrange for the burial of this boy. And when I said, let us make it an issue, they at that time were cooperating because they didn't realize how dangerous this Hydra is. Later, that Hydra attacked that bishop, almost killed him, finished his secretary. Fortunately, they couldn't catch his wife. They maimed him. And today, he's one of the forefront advocates who has realized how dangerous this thing is. I could easily give you many more examples. One of the former head of state who was claiming that there was nothing in his time, I was at a meeting with him in his home in Ota. When he gave me his own version of what he believed was going on, I said to him, sir, during your government, they were already building up more and more, infiltrating more and more. I said, do you remember a meeting you went to have in northern Nigeria when this thing started? When you left, they slaughtered every member of the family that entertained you. I said, they were sending you a warning to back off. Now, some years later, he went for a security meeting outside Nigeria, and I think when they showed him the build-up of what is coming into Nigeria when the final phase comes. Look, the Nigerian army in totality, everybody knows what the number is. The last time they engaged the BH on 3 war fronts, it took almost 2.5 weeks to overcome. So everybody realizes that if you think the Nigerian army can withstand a combined forces of what ISWAP has planned in the future, what is working for us right now is very simple. Nigeria is 220 million people strong. The number of all these people who want to swallow Nigeria, they are not even up to 450,000. Now, the strength of this is, let me break one nonsense that is going all around. And this is what we have to be careful to counsel the US government about. Anybody who looks and thinks that the Fulani is a primary problem is a joker. The Fulani is not the primary problem. All the combined forces of all these people is not up to 400 and something million. Now, is it this ill-educated...
400 and something thousand.
Yes. All these ill-educated, all these, what can I say, anachronistic human beings who are wearing loincloth all over the whole place, do you think that they are the real problem? Listen, the Fulanis have told you that they were busy using their 6 when people came and gave them AK-47s and took their children to go and train. Why don't we realize that it's the intelligence that is arranging logistics, that is arranging safe passage for them? I have boys in the army. We used to pray for them. When they locate the enemy position in the Nigerian army, a signal comes from Abuja that they should not attack. The signal will be delayed. After 3 hours, they tell them, now go. The Boko Haram will have left that place.
So,
what more proof
are
do we
you
need?
saying that the Nigerian government is involved in what is
What are you saying? Even Jonathan, before he left, openly said they are in my cabinet. Look, this thing has been known to collapse nations from within. So there's nothing new about what is going on in Nigeria. It's just like the architecture of thought. I would rather speak to the younger generation, the digital generation who understand programming. Because it looks as if the older generation don't have what it takes, don't have the understanding to acknowledge that there's a problem here. And let us come squarely. My eyes are on the president of Nigeria. It needs to be careful. Yes. Listen to me. I have nothing against him personally, but I can tell you something that is very, very clear to anybody. Now, he is an astute, consummate politician, but he doesn't realize that there's a global problem that he's dealing with. In order to become the president of Nigeria, nobody can argue there were deals that went on. And in essence, what he did was that he, more than anybody else, realized that there are many factors to the Hydra. In terms of the kinetics, apart from the Fulani, the Boko Haram, the ISWAP controlled, Ansar, Lakurawa and Co. And what he did was to play them against each other so that
you are alleging that President Tinubu had a deal with the terrorists?
Excuse me, whether we like it or not, it is no longer a secret anywhere in the world that.
So, but what's the evidence? Some people will say that.
Okay, let me give you talk. Let me just give you. Let me throw you one quickly. People don't realize that the Mandela bombing in Niger State, the Catholic church that was bombed in Niger State, the fellow who headed it actually was in Lagos, in Snake Island, 2 days, 3 days, and then traveled to northern Nigeria to take his team to execute. What does that tell you? Now, when he got into police custody, he was arrested and he miraculously escaped. When he escaped miraculously, where was he rearrested? Where did he take up refuge? He took up refuge in the lodge of a serving high-placed government official from Borno State, who happens to now be who? The Vice President of Nigeria. So what am I talking about here? Tinubu is one heartbeat away. You see, I feel sorry for him. In a way, we need to protect President Tinubu's life. He may think he has the guts to face these people, but I can tell you something, he has totally misread the size of the problem in which he has gone to double his hands.
Okay, so you said a lot of things. These are serious allegations.
Please, don't even bother. I'm the one talking. Listen,
yes.
We are the circumcision. We worship God in the spirit. We rejoice in Christ Jesus and we have no confidence in the flesh. I'm a statesman. We worry about the generations to come. I'm not worried about the next election. There's nothing I'm saying that cannot be substantiated, not only within Nigeria, but globally. So let nobody deceive themselves. He's so-called. Look, why do you think the federal government is trying to deny an evident truth? And all these people who have collected 30 pieces of silver, all these people speaking from two sides of the mouth, who are just shifting positions like the mendacious president that we have, why do you think they are going on like that? Because there's a plan. If this intervention had not come, and the president was allowed to go through his 8 years, who will he hand over the country to? And does he think they are not wise enough to know that if they are able to eliminate him, into whose hand does the country go? Now, this is where the problem is. If the country goes into the hand of the Boko Haram, the Fulani will not be happy. Those who are, look, let me give you a good example. An open secret. When Shekau became
Are you saying that the country will go into the hand of Boko Haram after Tinubu?
Please. If you remember very well, just after he came in, there was some kidnappings, some bombings, and then there was an outrageous demand for one impossible, I can't remember, was it 20 billion or something, impossible amount of money. When that demand was made, it was not really because they felt that kind of money will be paid. It was a direct message, a coded message to the presidency. Everybody is aware now that there was complicity in the times of in terms of the former president Muhammad Buhari. Like I told mentioned Issa Pantami. Also, don't forget about that his interesting governor who turned against Buhari in the last minute, who was persuaded to turn against Buhari, the worst governor Kaduna State has ever had. And I said something when Kaduna State was...
Governor El Rufai?
Yes. Look, let's not even go there. Go and look at his tweets in the earlier years. Go and look at his own open admission on television that he left Nigeria to neighboring countries to, with money, to go and sponsor the terrorists who had come to kill in Nigerian territory. Why did they have that kind of confidence then? Was because they knew they had entered governance. Now, as I'm speaking right now, listen, we need to reformat this country. And there's an opportunity that has come right now that if we mismanage this opportunity, let me tell you something, even God in heaven will look away when in the south part of Nigeria, in the eastern part of Nigeria, 13-year-old girls end up being raped. Look, there was a blogger recently who was being political, and I want to tell everybody prophetically right now what is coming up for those who refuse to face truth, those who refuse to give value to the lives of others. A young blogger recently said that there's no genocide, I'm a Christian, I don't feel threatened, long live P-Bat. She was one of those who was killed, if the account that is coming is right, in Kwara State in a church attack. Oh, she thought it was far away. Now, this is the fate, sadly, of those
now,
who live in...
by opportunity, you're talking about Trump saying that he would interfere with what is happening in Nigeria.
Well, I prefer the word intervention, and let me put it for you like this. For any godly-minded person, the declaration of Nigeria as a country, a CPC, that designation...
Yeah.
Yes. That designation is a human designation. What we should worry about is that God in heaven himself had already declared Nigeria as a country of particular concern. Listen, according to prophecy, Nigeria is supposed to be the trigger of a global move of revival. Then the other side too decided that Nigeria must become the epicenter of the next greatest satanic attack against the entire world. So the destiny of Nigeria is what we're fighting for. Look, the corruption in Nigeria, I gave an interview when President Tinubu entered, and I did remember saying that it would not be an honor for anybody to serve in this dispensation. After the negotiation, he bought... Look, the mantra of this government is this: whatever problem money cannot solve will be solved by more money. Not realizing that there's a hyper-dimensional problem, a problem bigger than money. Look, let me tell you something, the mistake that he's making. The whole Nigerian budget, when you look at it every year, all said and done, comes to how much? Maybe about $30 billion. How much does the diaspora remit to Nigeria every year?
$20 billion. Yes,
So,
sir.
when you hear Nigerians, you see, when poverty has been weaponized against a nation, people cannot think anymore. The older generation have been reduced by the weaponization of poverty. So, look, thinking is an expensive thing. So, it's not easy. Don't blame the average Nigerian.
Okay.
People are susceptible to money.
So, Daddy, before we round up, you've said a lot of things. Are these things that you can defend, like the allegations about the president, the vice president being part of, the Boko Haram?
In whose house was Kabiru Sokoto? In whose home was Kabiru Sokoto hiding before it was picked up? Please, if not for global interference in Nigerian affairs, we are ready 90-something% to the day of doom. So if we like, let us miss this opportunity. All those talking from the same different sides of the mouth, they will soon know what it is that we are dealing with.
Exactly what do you want the US to do?
Very simple. There are 4 sets of people who are talking to us in the US. Number 1, those who are genuinely concerned. All right? Number 2, we have those who are looking for government appointments. Number 3.
In the US, looking for government appointments in Nigeria.
Government appointments in the US. They are careerists.
Trump's administration.
Then there are those who know that money, US dollars, follows policy. So if not for Trump, they will not be speaking up. They are there. And then there's a last set of zealots who are so zealous that they reject God's wisdom. Those ones are what we call sincere ignorance and conscientious stupidity. They are equally as dangerous. So this is what I want us to do. If Nigeria cooperates properly with the window that God has used Trump to open, There's something that I cannot talk about in detail now. It's called the flight of two eagles. There's a bald eagle in that vision that can rescue the green eagle. Now, if we are able to eliminate the unnecessary voices that are fouling the waters in America for us, both within those against us and those for us, and remain only the voices that are looking forward to the future of Nigeria, let me tell you what will come out of it. Number one, Nigeria will become a nation. Watch this, where the value of life will be something else. We will leap for quantum leap to the forefront of global civilization, all within 4 to 8 years. Number two, the Nigerian foreign exchange right now that is about 1,600 naira to the dollar can be brought down to at least 1 to 250 to 350 naira to the dollar if we cooperate properly with understanding to tailor the American response in a way that will be profitable to the global community.
So have you discussed any of this with the Nigerian government? Have you presented
a government that is busy denying? Listen, the moment the Nigerian government is ready, even for President Tinubu, there's a way of escape for him. I fear for his life. If you do a proper concatenation and look at the analysis of what's on the table and the way these things are going, he can't trust anybody around him because there's an option open to them, which he is aware of. Okay? But Nigeria cannot afford that option.
What's the option?
Well, the point is this. If he cooperates with us, we have been studying this thing, we have been watching over this, we will create a Nigeria where no Muslim, no Christian is oppressed. Now, let me tell you this. When the generation of Awolowo and Zik and Co., when they got independence from Nigeria, Pax Britannica did not allow us to lay a firm foundation for a prosperous country. The divide and rule included religion. Now, this opportunistic hydra created by Osama bin Laden is using that opportunity. Now, if only Tinubu will cooperate, I will tell him that the first friend of Nigeria in America, first of all, in the olden days, was a man called Frank Wolf. Next is Chris Smith, Congressman Chris Smith. After him, we want to thank people like Louis Gohmert, we want to thank people like Ted Budd, Peter Ricketts, we want to thank people like Josh Hawley, we want to thank people like James Langford, then Ted Cruz. But most of all, this is better than any Nobel Peace Prize. We need to thank God for the two tweets that Donald Trump.
So, but since Trump said that he was going to get involved, the killing has actually gotten worse, and the government is not doing anything really. The young government is not doing
that
anything.
needed to happen to prove to the Nigerian that the government is so compromised, it does not care about your life. All it cares about is to win the next election, which will be very big. The last election that is really democratic in Nigeria.
This is a lot for people to digest. In the course of this half hour, you have implicated the president, the vice president, the entire cabinet, the military is compromised. A lot of these things, like the military being compromised and so on, people know. You've talked about El Rufai, you've talked about Sheikh Gumi, the minister that you mentioned, Issa Pantami.
What does he want to respond? His articles were on the Al-Qaeda website, globally exposed in France, everywhere. All the intel that has been given to Nigeria from foreign nations has been neutralized by the Nigerian government all these years. Who can deny that?
I'm really hoping that the Nigerian government will respond. I'm really hoping that they would respond to this.
Please, we have gone past that level. Where we are now is how do we save Nigeria? How do we salvage the nation? How do we create a future for all our children across the entire nation? Don't let the blood of the people who have been slaughtered through the years, past more than 20-something years, we should not let their bloodshed be in vain. Unmerited suffering is often redemptive, and that's the way we should go now.
Thank you so much, Reverend Ladi Peter Thompson, for your time. I truly appreciate you coming on the show. Thank you so much.
Pleasure is mine. God bless you.
ògbénu omi ríran ń tẹja ògbólógbé gúngún ní dún tàbàntàbà nínú aṣọ ògbólógbò oníṣègùn ìbílẹ̀ kan bẹ nílẹ̀ Yorùbá tọmọ tì fún tẹ̀dọ̀ ewé àti olóyè máyégún adífá bíi ẹni wẹjú aníkúlápó agbọ́sẹsẹ fámọlé agbẹ́ǹkùlé mọye olùtọ́wù ogun àìrọ́mọbí ní tiẹ̀ ní ogun àìrálàánú ló ń bá ayé rẹ̀ wọ̀dì mú àrùn ọjọ́ pípẹ́ ló ń bá ọwọ́ jàǹkadì káṣiṣẹ́ bíi erin jẹ̀jẹ̀ ìlérí ogun àmúbọ̀ ọkọ àmúbọ̀ aya ní tiẹ̀ ní tàbí ogun afinisẹ̀sìn níwájú olóore èyíkéyìí ogun tàbí àìsàn tó máa ń bá ayé rẹ̀ jà tètè máa máa bọ̀ wá sọ́dọ̀ olóyè máyégún adífábí ẹni wẹjú abólórí bẹ̀rí abániyẹ̀ràwọ̀ ẹni wò aníkúlápó àgbàlagbà ọ̀jìnmí tó mọ orúkọ tí wọ́n ń pe àwọn ìyá mi àgbà fún àyẹ̀wò tàbí ìmọ̀ràn ẹ pè sórí nọ́mbà yìí 08023940939 08023940939 báṣẹ́ bá mu mi àjò dànù bí gèrè bá mu mi àjò dànù tilé tọ̀nà la fi ń jolóńgìní tètè máa bọ̀ wá sọ́dọ̀ olóyè máyégún adífábí ẹni wẹjú kógun ayé rẹ̀ ó dà fíẹ́yìn.
Gbàgede Ìmọ̀ TV níbi wọ́n ti ń dábìí ẹ̀dùn tí wọ́n ń rọ̀ bí òwú. Gbàgede Ìmọ̀ TV láti gbóhùn sáfẹ́fẹ́.